So for last two classes we were discussing about cryptography, the security aspect, what are the necessary things required for security, what are the different requirement for the security, and we saw the security at the network layer, how network layer security is implemented. So that was IP security. So this IP security is applicable for both IPv4 as well as IPv6. And last class we discussed say transport mode as well as tunnel mode, two modes. Tunnel mode gives security to the header as well. Then we discussed this authentication header and ESP2 protocols, where ESP provided more confidentiality. This didn't provide confidentiality. So that those are the four scenarios in IP security. And this someone asked replay attack protection. I told it is a one form of attack. Attack means there are threats. So when we discuss in cryptography, we have an Alice and Bob scenario. At the same time, there is an intruder. So it could be normally Eve in some books, or here in other book it is Trudy. So this fellow is suspicious maybe. So this fellow would interfere, and it could record this message and then play back to Bob. So that is this version of attack. The other fellow, possibly this fellow would be, okay, Trudy would be Bob's wife and Alice would be Bob's lover, or so something like that. Some scenario in which an intruder want to overhear and replay something else. That is one form of attack. Replay prevention. These attacks, replay attacks, records messages from A to B and later replays to impersonate A. So attack is effective as attacker need not decrypt. So this is one form of attack. That is what appeared here in this table. Now this third person, those bad people, they can do many other things like eavesdrop, actively insert messages into connection, impersonation, fake source address in packet, hijacking, taking over ongoing connection by removing sender or receiver, inserting himself in place, denial of service, prevent service from being used by others by overloading the resource. All these forms of third person attacks are there. So those are the threats which we should take care. So we had seen this IP security. The two parties need to have security parameters exchange. Okay. So there would be security association, we had seen. So in which those protocols, authentication, encryption, all these, what are those algorithms used in the outgoing as well as outgoing, because this Alice would be sending to many other people. Bob would be receiving from many other people. So security association database, it becomes a database later. And this security association database, they are created by another method. It is internet key exchange. So internet key exchange is a protocol designed to create both inbound and outbound security association in security association database. Since Alice and Bob would be sending to many other people, and Bob would be receiving from many other people. So many security association parameters, they are called database. So this IKE, Internet Key Exchange, is a protocol that creates security association for IP security, and it itself is a complex protocol based on 3 other protocols. So this Internet Key Exchange is a protocol for creating security association database, for which there are 3 other protocols inside. Their names are given. Okay. So that is how this security association database is created using a protocol. So we had seen this virtual private network. This is within a organization. So this also requires privacy. In an organization, we can have virtual private network. This also requires security, and here also we can use IP security protocol in virtual private network within an organization also. Now we move on to how this is implemented in transport layer. So in network layer, we have all these security features implemented by IP security. And in transport layer, there are 2 protocols for providing security at the transport layer: secure socket layer, SSL, and transport layer security. SSL and TLS are the protocols which provide security at the transport layer. The second one, TLS, is an IETF version of the form. IETF is Internet Engineering Task Force. Their version of this SSL is called TLS. Now we'll just discuss these in brief only, how this different requirement with regard security is implemented, and what are the protocols in this transport layer, SSL and TLS. Transport layer security provides end-to-end security service for applications that use a reliable transport layer protocol such as TCP. So you have already TCP, that is reliable, and we need to provide end-to-end security service for applications. They are using TCP. The idea is to provide security service for transaction on the internet. For example, when a customer shops online, many security services are required. So financial transactions are involved. So we need security services. So the customer needs to be sure that server belongs to the actual vendor. So the customer should be sure. He does not want to give an imposter her credit card number or NDT authentication. The vendor needs to authenticate the customer. So this is very much required in a financial transaction. And the customer as well as the vendor need to be sure that contents of the message are not modified during transition. That message integrity should be there, that $100 should not change to $1,000. So that is message integrity. And customer and vendor need to be sure that an imposter does not intercept sensitive information such as a credit card number. So there should be confidentiality. So all these has to be ensured. So 2 protocols are dominant today for providing security at the transport layer. One is SSL, Secure Sockets Layer, and Transport Layer Security, which is the IETF version of the SSL. Now, Secure Socket Layer. It is designed to provide security and compression services to data generated from the application layer. So transport layer gets data from the application layer. Security and compression services are to be generated. Are to be provided to data generated from the application layer. Okay. So the payload is from the application layer. And typically SSL can receive data from any application layer. But generally, usually with regards to internet, we have HTTP as the main application layer. Data received from application are compressed, that's optional. signed and encrypted. Data are then passed to a reliable transport protocol such as TCP. We have TCP as well as UDP in the transport layer. Reliable version is TCP, and the unreliable connectionless version is the UDP, like the IP. Now, the history is Netscape developed SSL in 94. Version 2 and 3 were released in 95, and here in the text it is SSL version 3. So SSL provides services on data received from the application layer. So we use the TCP version of the transport layer, not the UDP, when we want financial transactions. So here we have these layers. This TCP layer is already there. We had seen congestion control, end-to-end reliability, all these things are there. That window, congestion window, receive window, everything in this TCP is there. And over and above, we have SSL and TLS designed to provide security at the transport layer. This integrity, confidentiality, etc. So this fragmentation is a step which divides application layer data into blocks of a certain length. Then compression is there, size to be reduced, and the service is optional. Now we need integrity. So we had seen this keyed hash function. A MAC we had seen, message authentication code, MDC and MAC we had seen. So this, if you have an MAC using a keyed hash function, you can provide integrity. Then we had seen confidentiality. Data and MAC are encrypted using symmetric key cryptography. Confidentiality is maintained. So these are the services provided by the secure socket layer. One is fragmentation into blocks of data. Next is compression, which is optional. Next is integrity by using a keyed hash function to create a MAC. Then confidentiality. The MAC is encrypted. And framing. Header is added to the encrypted payload. Payload is then passed to a reliable transport layer protocol. Now, first service consists of all these things, and next we have security association in IP. Here there is no security association. Instead, we have cipher suits and cryptographic secrets that together make up the security parameters. So in IP security, we had security association. Here we don't have security association. We have cipher suits and cryptographic secrets that together make this security parameters. So this is the cipher suit. It's a combination of key exchange, hash, and encryption algorithm. Basically, in security association, we just communicate what are the algorithms. So that itself is there in the cipher suit. For each SSL session, the key exchange, hash, and encryption algorithm is defined in the cipher suit for each SSL session. So each cipher suit starts with the term SSL, followed by the key exchange algorithm. The key should be exchanged. Public key, the private key, they should be exchanged. What are those? What are the algorithm used for key exchange? That should be mentioned first. Then there would be a word with SSL, some algorithm, then with, which separates the key exchange algorithm from the encryption and hash algorithm. So we should provide what are the key exchange algorithm, what are the encryption algorithm, what are the hash algorithms. So this is the basic format. So SSL, say it could be RSA, could be the key exchange algorithm. Say key exchange algorithm is RSA here. With then the encryption algorithm, say RC4, DES we had seen, DES. So and then what is the hash algorithm? So all these would be in this format. Okay, this continue. Say you have this one, SSL. This would mean the key exchange algorithm. Then with this would mean the encryption algorithm. This would mean the hash function. So just a list of this SSL cipher suite means this one. This is the SSL cipher suite list, just to indicate what are the key exchange algorithm, what are the encryption algorithm, what are the hash algorithm. Like security association in IP security, we have cipher suite. Now, another one is cryptographic secrets. So in addition to cipher suites, we have cryptographic secrets. Second part of the security parameters is often referred to as cryptographic secrets to achieve message integrity and confidentiality. This itself, client and server have 6 different cryptographic secrets, 4 keys and 2 initialization vectors. So this is again more involved. So client needs 1 key for message authentication, 1 key for encryption, 1 initialization vector for block encryption. Server also needs the same. So that is why this 6 cryptographic secrets. SSL requires that keys for one direction to be different from those in other direction. So if there is attack in one direction, the other direction is not affected. So these parameters are generated using negotiation protocol. So this is another set of similar to security association in IP security. We have cipher suite as well as cryptographic secrets. Now, this how it is generated is also a bit involved. Creation of cryptographic secrets in SSL. So client authentication key. Client and server exchange 2 random numbers. Client and server would exchange 2 random numbers created by client and other by server. And client and server exchange 1 pre-master secret by using one of the key exchange algorithm. They exchange a pre-master secret as well. A 48-bit byte master secret is created from the pre-master secret by applying 2 hash function SHA1 and MDS. So from this pre-master secret, a 48-byte master secret is generated by using SHA1 hash algorithm and MD5. So this is how they generate this secret. The master secret is used to create a variable length secret by applying the same set of hash function and pre-appending with different constants. And then we generate all these things, these keys. This is the method of generation of the 6 keys. Client authentication key. This one. Client authentication key. Server authentication key. Client encryption key. Server encryption key. Client initiation vector. Server initiation vector. So this much of amount of processing is required for generation of these 6 keys in generating the cryptographic secrets. So we will continue next class the sessions and connection and other things. So you can just know that these things are bit complicated, and we are just going only through the basic outline, and there is little more of this portion I'll be taking on Monday only. Monday also I have this duty. And I think your series is postponed. Maybe university is having some other ideas so we don't know. So